What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and smash that button because today we're diving into a story so shocking it's sending waves of fear and fury across South Africa. Slovo Park, the densely populated informal settlement on the outskirts of Johannesburg, turned into a warzone overnight after a massive explosion ripped through shacks and small homes, leaving devastation, tears, and anger in its wake. But here's the twist, this wasn't just a tragic accident or a gas leak gone wrong. Eyewitnesses, residents, and local community leaders say the explosion was part of a violent retaliation by a group of foreign nationals who decided to fight back after months of escalating tensions and attacks targeting immigrants in the area. The events leading up to the explosion have been brewing for weeks. Residents of Slovo Park have long complained about crime, overcrowding, and poverty, but in recent months, frustration boiled over into anger directed at foreign nationals accused of running illegal businesses, selling drugs, and stealing jobs. Tensions hit a fever pitch after a series of robberies and a stabbing incident were blamed on a group of young Zimbabwean men. In response, some locals formed vigilante groups that began threatening and assaulting foreign shop owners, torching stalls, and forcing families to flee. The fragile peace shattered completely on Friday night when an earth-shaking explosion tore through several rows of tin shacks, lighting up the night sky with flames visible for kilometers. Witnesses described the blast as a roar of thunder that lifted roofs into the air and hurled walls onto sleeping families. One survivor, covered in dust and blood, said he was awakened by a shockwave that tossed him across the room like a rag doll. Children were heard screaming, women were seen running barefoot over shattered glass and twisted metal, and men formed makeshift rescue lines to pull survivors from the rubble. At least 8 homes were reduced to smoking craters, dozens more damaged, and over 50 people left injured or homeless. Emergency crews arrived to scenes of chaos and heartbreak. Ambulances struggled to navigate the narrow, debris-choked alleyways as paramedics carried limp bodies wrapped in blankets. Firefighters battled stubborn blazes that threatened to spread to gas canisters and other nearby shacks, while police tried to calm residents who were already forming angry mobs. What followed was a night of confusion, panic, and rage as Slovo Park transformed into a powder keg. What has stunned South Africans even more than the explosion itself is the motive emerging from investigations and testimonies. Multiple residents claim they saw a group of men, known in the area as foreign nationals from Mozambique and Zimbabwe, sneaking into the heart of the settlement with jerry cans and what looked like makeshift explosives. These men allegedly sought revenge after losing everything to xenophobic attacks earlier in the week. Their shops had been looted, friends beaten, and families threatened, and rather than flee, they decided to strike back in an act of brutal defiance. The results were catastrophic. Homes that took years to build with meager earnings were instantly reduced to twisted sheets of metal and ashes. A mother of 3, who lost her youngest child in the blast, sobbed uncontrollably as she told reporters that her life would never be the same again. An elderly man who barely escaped the inferno cried out that he had survived apartheid and many hardships, but nothing prepared him for a night when neighbors turned on each other with such destructive fury. In the aftermath, Slovo Park has become a symbol of South Africa's deepening crisis over immigration, poverty, and inequality. Social workers and aid organizations have rushed in to set up temporary shelters and provide food and blankets for the displaced, but emotions remain raw. Community leaders are desperately trying to broker peace, but many residents are openly calling for all foreigners to leave Slovo Park immediately, an ominous sign of how quickly things could spiral even further. Police spokespeople confirmed they have opened a case of arson and murder, adding that several suspects are already being sought for questioning. Explosives experts and bomb squads have been deployed to the scene to determine what exactly was used to cause such a powerful blast. Preliminary findings suggest an improvised device packed with fuel and possibly fertilizer, a chilling indication of the lengths to which desperate, angry people are willing to go when they feel cornered. Political leaders are weighing in with condemnation and concern. Some have slammed the xenophobic violence that sparked this deadly retaliation, warning that South Africa cannot afford to descend into a cycle of revenge and bloodshed. Others have called for mass deportations and tighter border controls, blaming the explosion on the failure to regulate undocumented immigrants. Meanwhile, opposition parties are accusing the government of neglecting the poor and fueling the social conditions that make places like Slovo Park ticking time bombs. On social media, the tragedy has exploded into a firestorm of debate. Hashtags about xenophobia, immigration, and lawlessness are trending, with many South Africans demanding urgent government intervention. Some are calling for national dialogues on how to peacefully coexist with foreign nationals, while others are angrily insisting that outsiders have brought only chaos and should be sent home immediately. The divisions are raw and deep, threatening to tear apart not just Slovo Park but communities across the country. For now, Slovo Park's residents are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. Many have lost everything: homes, loved ones, and a sense of safety they will never regain. As smoke still lingers in the air and families huddle under makeshift tarps, there is a palpable fear that more violence could break out at any moment. The cycle of anger, fear, and retaliation seems unstoppable unless leaders and communities find a way to break it. This explosion should be a wake-up call for South Africa, a stark reminder that unresolved tensions and simmering hatred can erupt in moments of unimaginable horror. The challenge now is to confront the root causes of poverty, lawlessness, and xenophobia before the next Slovo Park happens. We'll keep you updated as this story develops, so stay tuned, stay safe, and don't forget to subscribe for the latest breaking news that matters.